Hey everyone, GrandFleet here. And today I was just sitting by my room, looking at my ceiling and going, what would be good, today to do? And I was just dreaming, just like looking into the sky, imagining the stars, and thinking, wow, wouldn't it be nice if I was a fighter pilot in the 1900s, flying in the sky on top of a bird that can breathe fire out of his mouth? Yeah. Now that sounds like fun. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about a rider, but not any rider, a sky rider. Sky rider Shura, that's his name, Shura, from Sky Island in One Piece. Yeah. And I picked this character literally just because I found him interesting. I found him so interesting that he had this huge build-up in the Sky Island part of the series, and he was so useless, it was insane. He has a couple of good fights. He has two main fights, and I guess like gag fights, but that's why I did pick him. And if you guys want me to talk about a different character next time, drop it down below. I got my notes, I got the video camera up. Let's get started. Subscribe, like the video, if you want to. If you don't want to, just watch the video. Enjoy the video. Play the intro of this series I started for some reason. Yeah. So, our story starts off right after they finally finished off at Alabasta and Jaya, where if you ever watched Jaya, that's where Luffy beats Bellamy after he basically does the same thing Shanks used to do, where he does not fight in the bar, because you should watch Jaya. You know what, you guys watch, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, watch Jaya, or I'll make a video about Jaya itself, because it's a really interesting arc. Even though it's only 7 episodes or 8 episodes, 7 to 8 episodes, it's a very short arc, but it's a really cool arc. It has the introduction of Blackbeard. We have that amazing scene or manga panel, if you read the manga like me, at the end of Luffy just one-punching Bellamy straight. Just, it's so cool. And I'm not going to spoil it. You guys watch that. But right after Jaya, they were going to look for, the Straw Hats are coming to look for gold so they can go to a bank and sell it for some money. So they're looking for some gold, and they heard a story that there is a island of gold. And Luffy heard this story from Mont Blanc Cricket. That's what he looks like. He is a descendant of Nolan the Liar. Nolan the Liar used to be a guy, I think he is the great-great-great-grandfather of Nolan the Cricket. And he has a bit of like blood in his veins. This is what they said in the anime and in the manga. I'm not just saying blood in his veins as blood in his veins. No, this is what they said. So Mont Blanc Cricket tells Luffy that there is an island of gold, a sky island of gold that he's trying to find. So eventually Luffy and the Straw Hats do find them via a stream in the water that shoots up at a certain time if you do a couple certain things. Of course, they had to do the whole Jaya thing where Bellamy was saying Scotland does not exist, and then Luffy deals the to his head, one punch. Do you think I know how to throw a punch? And then just straight up. It was beautiful. But then, of course, we get up to Sky Island. There is a bit of people, but eventually we do meet the priests. And for people that have not gotten to Sky Island, I don't know why you're watching this video then, but if you are, just stay. Go watch Sky Island, come back and watch this video. But other than that, the priests are these 4 priests, and the priests' names are Satori, Om, Geratsu, and Shura. They all have cryptic names. Some of them, like Satori, do not have them. It's just Satori. Some of them just like really cool names, like the person we're talking about in this video, Shura. Shura is actually known as the Sky Rider in the actual Sky Island, which is kind of fitting. He's a Sky Rider in Sky Island. That's weird, Shura. Why not call yourself a rider? Actually, you know what? Maybe the civilians of Skypiea call him a rider, and to us we call him a sky rider because he's in the sky. Ever thought of that? Think more, or think less. I don't know. So since we're talking about Shura, Shura is a priest of the Upper Yard. There are yards in Skypiea where it's like a district where there's a lower district, and this is where Luffy has to go to fight Enel. Enel's on the highest yard, and after Luffy finds out what Enel did to his crew, Luffy starts climbing up the yards, and that's where Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji actually go, because they get separated from the crew with Usopp, Luffy, and Sanji. Which, by the way, just a quick side note, I love Sanji's shirt, Hawaiian shirt in this. I'm gonna put it up on screen. I love it so much. I'll put it up here. I love it so much. I love that outfit. I think in the manga right now he's rocking Hawaiian shirt again, which I love, because I love when Sanji wears Hawaiian shirts. He looks amazing in them. Usopp, Luffy, and Sanji traverse through boat, trying to get to Nami, Zoro, and Robin, going towards trying to find out this whole Sky Island Verth thing. Verth is Earth on Sky Island. Yeah, they call it Verth because they're like, it's a mysterious thing that just came up into the sky. It's Verth. And Nami, Zoro, and Robin go off the Sunny because they got separated from Luffy, Usopp, and Zoro. Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji, and they're all kind of just trying to get to the same area, except Usopp, Luffy, and Sanji kind of get sidetracked because of Shura. Shura is the Sky Rider, as I said, and I'm going to tell you how confident he is in his abilities. So I'll tell you his abilities in a minute, because this is what the video is about. But first, I got to talk about how confident he is in this. So this is the whole entire thing that happens. Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp are all traveling on this little like duck boat, which I really love. I really like the duck boat. It's really cool design. They're going off these like cloud river. There's like these 3 doors, I think it was, and it was like, go this way, don't go this way, and like never go this way. Of course, they ended up picking, I think, the wrong one, and then it was like the right one because of Sanji and Usopp's antics, and how Usopp was using his like grappling thing, which was tied to his waist, and it was like Usopp's great Gatling, and you're just like, wee. So this is where Shura comes in, where he's the first person to stop them right after it being Satori. So Shura is an upper yard priest. He's in the upper yard. So when they get to the upper yard, right before fighting Satori, which is another priest, which is probably one of the higher ranking ones, Shura does say he's one of the most powerful priests, but that's kind of part of his character. He's really confident. He's a really confident priest. But before we go into what happens in the fight, we gotta address what he's wearing. We gotta address how he looks. So this is how Shura looks in the anime and the manga. But like I said at the start of the video, wouldn't it be cool if I was a 1900 fighter pilot? And yeah, I meant it, because Shura wears fighter pilot gear. And yeah, I meant it, because Shura wears fighter pilot gear. Literally. But not from this century, from the 1900s. Maybe in the One Piece universe, Shura is wearing what, you know, they would wear at this time. But I kind of find it weird, because there's a difference in the One Piece, like, you know, world. Because we see in the time skip, there's Judge with this advanced technology. In the manga right now, we see Vegapunk with his advanced technology. But then there's some parts in the world, like, you know, Sky Island, which is supposed to be a Sky Island, having, you know, someone wear fighter pilot gear that's from the 1900s. I read it on the wiki, by the way. I'm not just saying 1900s. It's on the wiki. It's where I got my information when I was looking this up. Either way, that's what it said, and he is. But my favorite part about his design is his mustache. And not just any mustache, but that gentleman classy mustache. I mean, not the one that Alfred rocks in the Batman, where he has like a nice twirl. No. These are not the twirly ones. This is the spike one. This just goes, I'll put it up here right now. He's a, there's like a nice 2 lines over here. I'll try to recreate with like a, like this. Yeah, and he looks really gentleman-like. I bet if he put on a suit, he could give Kuro a run for his money. If you remember Kuro, you're a real OG in One Piece. If you remember Kuro. So like I said, Shura is confident, and because he's so confident, he hates the other priests. He doesn't hate him in a way that he wants to like kill them all, even though he does threaten to kill them all, even though I don't think he could have. He does like hate them in a competition type of way. So I think he says to Satori or Gadatsu, actually, or Om. By the way, all those people are priests. By the way, there are all the 4 priests. There's Shura, Gadatsu, Om, and Satori. Other than that, he's very like competition based. So if Satori does something cool, he has to top it, and that's why he doesn't like him. He's like, I'm the best, and I'm always the best. I'm the Sky Rider Shura. Yeah, so you get his persona already. Now his weapon of choice, is a really cool weapon, I must say. Out of all the priests, especially Satori, because Satori's weapon is like he basically using balls. Literally, I think one of his attacks is literally called Milky Balls. Now, I'm gonna avoid talking about Satori because I don't want to keep saying Milky Balls. Now, Shura uses a weapon, and this weapon is a javelin. Now, what this javelin does is what the name implies. It's called the Heat Javelin. Now, it is a cool name. I will give them that. The Heat Javelin. And what it does is that, well, it produces heat to anyone that touches it, or if it comes in contact with anyone. And it's pretty cool. It's a huge, really big javelin. He has to have a lot of strength to hold this javelin. That's another thing about Shura. Shura tanked one of the things that Enel couldn't. I don't know if at the time when, I think it was Wiper, that shot this huge cannon burst. I can't remember the name, but there was this cannon burst that shot Enel, and Enel died, but because of his electricity powers, he kind of just like start back up. He's God, like straight up almost kills Wiper, almost kills the Straw Hats. Of course, Luffy wasn't there, so he didn't experience what they experienced until later on. But Shura, he took the same attack. Now, I don't know if it was as strong as the one that Enel took. It wasn't implied. It was kind of just the same attack. They didn't say it's 100+ charge. No. It's the same attack. The only difference, people have an argument that the one that he shot at Enel was even stronger is because in the anime and in the manga, which is really rare for the anime and the manga to have the same thing. Yeah, you'd think it wouldn't, but it does. In the manga and in the anime, it takes longer for Wiper to shoot it. But, I just kind of think that's for the build-up, because it's Enel. He's the main villain. Of course, they're not going to just shoot it like they did Shura. Even though Shura is pretty cool, yeah, they're not going to do that. But either way, Shura tanks this blast. The same one that Enel took. Again, interpret it any way you want. Even if it was weaker, it's still a powerful-ass blast. And Shura took it like a champ. So he's pretty freaking durable. As for powers, he doesn't really have any. He has his weapon, his heat javelin as he calls it. And he also has his bird. Like I said at the start of the video, wouldn't it be cool if I was a 1900s fighter pilot, but at the same time riding a bird that breathes fire? Now, his bird does have a name. The bird's name is Fuza. Now, I don't know why, but while researching for this video, I kept calling him Kuza, and I kept going, why am I calling him Kuza? And that's because this video was intended to be a character analysis on Koza from Alabasta. So I kept getting their names switched up, but I'm so happy I said Fuza and not Kuza, because I was getting confused all throughout looking up, getting the information for this character, Shura. Shura, Kuza, Fuza, Koza. See what I'm doing? See what I'm dealing with here? Yeah. But actually, his pet bird, Fuza, he rides on him. He kind of stands on him. Sometimes he sits on him like a horse sometimes. But he breathes fire. Now, he doesn't breathe fire automatically. He's not like a ancient animal that can be turned into an ancient zone and someone can see. No. It's none of that. He has a dial. The dials have been introduced in Skypiea. Like, there's multiple dials. I should make a video on all the dials. That'll be pretty. I should do that. I will do that in the future. But for now, there's this fire dial that Usopp gets later on and uses it for. I think he uses it against the fight with Luffy in Water 7. But this dial, this fire dial, he kind of like strapped it in his throat. I don't know how that's safe, but maybe this bird has like extra liquidy lungs that just don't get hurt. I don't know. But he has this fire dial that kind of sits at his throat, and every time he breathes fire or maybe clenches his throat, it like activates the dial and it shoots out fire. So that's what kind of happens. So that's his main use of weaponry, but his like main technique, and this is when he fought Chopper. Well, he didn't really fight Chopper. Actually, there was no fighting with Chopper at all. He was gonna fight Chopper. This was when Nami, Zoro, and Robin left Chopper on the, I was about to say the Thousand Sunny. No, it's actually the Mary. R.I.P. the Mary. We'll talk about you in another video. I will make a video on the Mary, man. Don't you worry. He was sitting on the Mary. He was protecting it, and this is when Chopper was quite new to the crew. He's the only encounter he's ever had with the crew is in Alabasta. Before this, he was in Drum Island, and for us, we know Alabasta was long, at least for us back then. But for Chopper, only lasted, like in the real-time story, it only lasted maybe 2 to 3 to 4 days. I don't actually know how long. I think it was at most a week, but I don't even think it was that long. So he's quite new to the crew still. He's trying to, you know, show them that he's really true to the crew. He'll do anything for the crew. Also, you know, he's doing his little thing. Like Dr. Hiruluk is his mentor, by the way, that sacrificed himself to save Chopper and all of the kingdom of Drum Island. He's like, I am a true pirate, and I will face my fears and stay on the Thousand Sunny by myself. Also, Chopper's quite scared because the other night Usopp said that he saw someone fixing the ship. Of course, this was the spirit of the Mary, which has a name. I don't remember the name. If I find the name, I'll put it on screen. But there's a name for this spirit. But you know, I will call it the Mary spirit because the Mary does truly have spirit. So while Chopper's kind of just sitting on the ship, kind of just doing nothing, there are these really big shark monsters kind of sitting around the ship, but not attacking him because they're on like this big pillar with stairs going up the pillar, and this is a sacrificing altar, by the way. It's really cool lore, which I don't really want to go into in this video. I might do for another. But then Chopper starts hearing noises, and then he hears a bird caw, and then we see Fuza, Shura's bird, flying down onto the Mary, and then we see Shura jump onto the Mary's deck. The side rails, and he's standing on it, and he's basically saying, "Who are you, intruder?" And he's being his all confident self, twirling his, well, not twirling, caressing, just going, not this. He's doing, yeah, it's weird. Either way, he's doing that, and while doing that, he's just kind of like monologuing about how cool he is. Like, I'm Shura, the Sky Rider. I'm here to beat you and take the rest of your crew out with me. Now, what I didn't mention is that what I was about to tell you before was that before meeting Chopper, he did meet up with Sanji, Luffy, and Usopp. But Luffy and Sanji kind of just like cheesed their way out of Shura's eyesight, so they kind of got away really easily. It wasn't a big fight. Like Luffy and Sanji kind of had it handled. Nothing really big there. They kind of just did their old Sanji and Luffy thing back pre-time skip. Even post-time skip probably would have been the same thing, except with hockey involved. Let's be real. The Chopper fight's probably the only thing that he's done in the story that's, you know, relevant. But what's even worse, he didn't fight Chopper. He didn't, because that's not what happened. In the story, he actually goes to Chopper, is about to fight him, but earlier in the arc, when they just got onto Skypiea, all the Straw Hats, there was Gunfall. And Gunfall's originally god of Skypiea, but when Enel came, he was too powerful, and then Enel kicked God out of Skypiea. So he became this warrior known as Gunfall, holding this Pegasus horse, which ate the original, he was a Pegasus, no, he was a regular horse that ate the Pegasus fruit, which turned into a Pegasus, which could just fly, which is pretty cool. And Pierre, that's his name, Pierre. Oh, Pierre, you're a good soul, Pierre. Pierre the Pegasus. And Gunfall gave them this button. Well, it was some sort of button that if Chopper pushes it, he appears and will help him. Not on the Dragon Ball Zeno type stuff that, like, you know, here you go, Goku. Anytime you need my help, just press this button and everything will be safe. Not that type of stuff where he just clicks it and everything works out. No. Gunfall, he gets scared. Chopper is still quite new, doesn't know how to use his powers that well. So he just clicks the button and then Gunfall shows up instantly and beats the ever-living shit out of Shura and Fuza the bird. He's his own character. He beats the shit out of him. Of course, the fight was cool to see, but at the end of the day, Shura got beat the shit out of. He wasn't even challenged for Gunfall at that point. They fought on top of the clouds because they have both flying animals. So Fuza was flying, Pierre was flying, and we all know Pierre could tear Fuza apart anytime he wants because Pierre is the great Pierre right under Gunfall. So Gunfall uses his godly powers, which is just him fighting, not really much else. But yeah, that's the last time we see of him. But one thing I gotta say is he uses his great technique that I just referenced a couple minutes ago. The technique is called string assassination. I think it was in the dub. I don't remember what it was in the sub. And if you're wondering, because I watched 4K Kids dub a while back, and most recently I was just checking them out again, so it's quite fresh in my mind. But in the 4Kids dub, he refers to him as like floss assassination. But I'm pretty sure in the sub it was something very similar to what Doflamingo's like Devil Fruit of string powers is. Now, this string thing he does is not something that's built into him. Actually, fun fact, the priests in general just don't have devil fruits. Oda has said this, which really confuses me because how the hell does Satori control all those balls? Like he just like floats them around. Now people could say Haki because in Skypiea Haki was introduced, known as mantra, which Shura does also have, but like we have not really seen a like elemental like the Force in Star Wars type of Haki where you can just lift stuff with your bare hands, like with your bare hands with like air. Like no, it's not a thing. So yeah, don't know, but he doesn't have a double fruit. He uses this string. Well, I want to say string. I take this very lightly. Take this as like the really, really, really downgraded version of Doflamingo's fruit. When I say downgraded, I mean going from like string that can kill you to regular string to floss. Just, you know, the floss you floss in the morning. I know some people floss. I floss. I know some people just don't floss. I never knew that. A tiny piece of floss, and he's like holding it, and he's like, "All right, here's my secret technique." And what he says made me laugh. Like when I was researching this, this technique is so strong, you only have a 3% chance of escaping. Now, either Gunfall is so strong that he had that 3% chance in the bag, or he was completely crapping his pants, Shura, of course, and lying and just going, yup, 3% chance. Let's be honest, it wasn't a 3% chance. But against a human, this technique would probably be pretty deadly. So what this thing is he kind of wraps a bunch of string, dental floss, around you, and it kind of like if you guys, I want to experiment for any girls that watch the video or boys, if you guys have like a clip, or not a clip, a hair tie, and you want to like put it around your finger and like just like squeeze it a bit and tighten it up, it's gonna make all the blood rush to the like, top of your finger, or like suck it out, so you're gonna have nothing there. So that's what he's kind of doing with the string. He's kind of just like pressing on your skin, so your blood kind of just like clogs up and like to cut you. Now, of course, Gunfall deals this with ease, but you know, against a regular human, you know, they could die. Now, that's all I have for Shura. Like, I don't really have anything else on him. I wrote quite a bit of notes, like a crap ton of them. Like here I have like Shura / Skyrider. That's his nickname. We have he's priest of the upper yard. He's a flying bird named Kuza. Yeah, I know. He dresses up like a fighter pilot from the 1900s. And the most important one I wrote down here, bold letters, people. He has a mustache. What else do you want me to do? But that's the video, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you did like it. I did plan it. Usually my videos aren't scripted, and this was not. I just go off on tangents, as you know. Only I could talk about a character that has had barely any screen time in the anime, or over less than 20 episodes and turn it into a almost 20-minute video. Yeah, only I could do that. But hope you did enjoy the video. My name is GrandFleet, and right before I do leave, I do have to say, why did NL even need priests? Like, they all were really weak. Like, let's be honest here. Satoru was weak. Okay, maybe you can like give an argument towards Ohm, because Ohm is that dude. I don't want to go too into I want to make videos on these guys. I want to make this series where I talk about One Piece characters. I'm gonna make a playlist. This video, when it comes out, there's gonna be a playlist that's called One Piece characters, and this will be in it. And I'm gonna talk about specific characters, like how I talked about Shura in this specific video. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know why he needed the priest. He was pretty powerful. Actually, after I saw him in the anime and in the manga do his fight against Viper and Zoro and Nami and mostly Zoro and Robin. And Nami was hiding. Yeah, I was like, why do you need the priests? But yeah, that question will never be answered unless Oda wants to do it in SBS one day. Yeah, that time will come one day. That's all I got for today. GrandFleet signing out. See you, everyone.